Morning. Excellent. So glad you can hear me. Fantastic. It's Monday morning, December 12th, which means we only have, wow, 2 more Mondays in the year. Oh my goodness. Good morning, ORL 4879. How you doing this morning? So blessed to be able to see y'all this morning. Yeah. My gosh, I forgot to bring my water in here. I got a little bit of parched throat this morning. Yes, we're about to get started in just about 15 seconds or so. My gosh, here we go. Yeah. Edlin, good to see you this morning. I got to get back to Canada. All right, y'all, here we go. Hey y'all, what's happening? What's happening? How you doing? Welcome back to another episode of the Monday Morning Get Up, the 15-minute show where we give you a little bit of inspiration, motivation, and elevation designed to carry you rocking and rolling through your week. OMG, I'm so glad you're in the place. Quick question for you. Are you a procrastinator? Let's talk about that this morning on the Get Up. Do me a favor, if you are in the house, just give me a thumbs up, give me a comment so I know that you're there, that you're rocking and rolling with us this morning. I see you, Edlin. I see you, Saska Lee. I see you, John. I see you, Jessica. Hey, good to see you. Sarita, good to see you. Nadia, Edgar, good to see you this morning. Sharon, good to see you this morning. Greg, good to see you this morning. All right, Lolita, good to see you this morning. Fantastic. Good to see you all this morning. Janine, Lanier, Walker, good to see you. Happy Monday to you this morning. I'm so glad that you are here this morning. Yeah, Saska, you are on Instagram and Facebook. Good to see you this morning. So glad that you are in the place. Hey, Dorian, how you doing? Good to see you this morning. So glad that y'all are here to hang out with us this morning just for a few minutes. Do me a favor. If you are wanting to get in touch with me, do me a favor. First of all, you can go to rk3thats.me to get a little bit of resources, get a little bit more information, know what's happening in the storytelling and communication space. Hey, Valda, Boyd, Ford, good to see you this morning. You can do that. The other thing that you can do, if you want to know when we're going live, when I'm going live, you can text Go Live to 240-55-STORY. Text Go Live, GOLIVE, to 240-557-8679. All right, listen, that is it for the prep stuff. Rich Graham, how you doing this morning? So glad that you're here this morning. Let me pop a few names on screen here. Hey, Rich, how you doing? Hey, Valda, how you doing? All right, Saska Lee, how you doing? Dorian, how you doing? Janine, how you doing? Fantastic. So glad that y'all are here this morning. All right, but listen, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I remember when I was in college. I don't know if any of you have gone through this experience. I remember when I was in college, I had a bad habit. How many of you had bad habits in school? I had a bad habit of waiting till the last minute to do a few things. So there would be the end of semester rush, right? We had finals and then there was the paper or whatever that was due. And there was the end of semester rush when everybody ran to the computer lab to try to get their papers typed and done, right? This was back in the day. Nobody had laptops. Nobody had laptops where you could just kind of do it in your room, and there was no Wi-Fi, right? It was just the computer lab. You went to the computer lab. So do me a favor. If y'all remember the computer lab, go ahead and just type me. Sherv, Jason Banks, good to see you. If you remember the computer lab, just go ahead and type me. So I know there's going to be somebody on here saying, my gosh, You're talking about computer lab. How about the pen lab where you had to write it by hand? Yeah, I know that. I remember that as well. All right. So the computer lab, we had to run to the computer lab to type our papers, and it was always so crazy, right? You had 20 pages of a paper to write. And this was my bad habit. I had a 20-page paper, sometimes 10-page paper to write, and I would literally start writing it from scratch that night before. Years. Did this for years. And every year, what that led to was stress. Every year, what it led to was what's the word I'm looking for? Frazzlement, franticism, right? Franticness, right? It led to just this anxiety inside of me, right? There was this one year, probably my junior year, where I decided that I was going to do the paper ahead of time. And so I was prepared. I got my research done. I got it typed, and then on the last day of class, I turned the paper in on time, and I breathed, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is what that feels like. Right? I was able to turn my paper in on time. How many of you live like that? You feel like you're always in a rush. You feel like you're always behind it. You feel like you're always just, it's frantic. And I like to say these days that you can either be frazzled, frantic, or you can be free. Man, I had an experience with a family member the other day, and I won't say the family member's name, where I made a mistake and told them the wrong time for an event that we had to go. And the time that we went was early. So we got there and we sat down and we relaxed. And this family member said to me, my gosh, okay, this is what early feels like. This is what it feels like to breathe and not be rushing in. Right? This is what early feels like. This is what it feels like to be free. Yeah. This morning, here's the quote that I want to share with you. It's by Seth Godin, and it simply says, dig your well before you're thirsty. Dig your well before you're thirsty. Here's what happens in our lives. We often are doing so many things that we get to a point where we're thirsty, we're hungry, and now we're doing it at the same time that everybody else is. And so we are a part of the rush. We're a part of the crazy. Part of the reason why our lives are so frantic is because of the lack of preparation for a lot of us. And I'm not pointing just at people on camera. I'm pointing at me as well, right? It's about our lack of preparation. And so because we're not prepared, we end up rushing, we end up hustling. And here's what happens when we're hustling, we become part of that mentality, right? You've heard of people that say, they're like team no sleep, right? They're constantly on the go. And I want to submit that, yeah, there's something to working hard. There are seasons for working and pushing through some of your barriers and limits. But that's not the standard. That's not the everyday. Our bodies, our minds need time to refresh. We need time to not be frantic. We need time to not always be in a rush. We need time to not always be distracted by the noise of our world. And so we've got to set ourselves up so that we have time to prepare. We've got to dig our wells before we're thirsty. Do you know people that just show up and they just kind of look like, oh my gosh, right? Maybe that's you. Maybe you're that person. How you prepare is how you show up. If you prepare in a way that gives you or allows you to breed confidence, then that's how you show up. And sometimes it may not necessarily be that you're doing all this hard work. Some people are naturally more talented, so they have to do a little bit less preparation in specific areas. But it means that you have the capacity, the proclivity. You've got the skill to be able to show up that way because you prepared. And so when you prepare and you're in a space where you don't have to show up in a frantic way, then you can show up in a way that is confident. So I guess the question that I want to ask, not even I guess, I definitely want to ask this question. How are you showing up? Are you showing up focused? Are you showing up disciplined? Are you showing up prepared? Or are you showing up a little bit confused? Are you showing up a little bit tired? Are you showing up in a way that like you're not clear on where you're headed or where you're going? Yeah. Yeah. So it is December 12th. It's December 12th, 2022. And this is actually going to be our last Monday morning get up for the rest of the year because I'm taking some time. I'm taking the next couple of Mondays to prep or prepare for 2023. And we're actually changing the name a little bit. We're going to start off in 2023 and we've got this show and I'll tell you why we're making the change when we get started. But we're changing the name to the Monday Mindset Movement. And I'll be taking the next couple of Mondays to get prepared for that because one of the things that happens, especially as I do social media, as I do shows, as I do these types of live streams, I find that if I'm not prepared, if I don't have a script, if I don't have a show, a run of show, then what I state or what I do is a lot less valuable or a lot less powerful. Right. And so I've got to prepare. I've got to put my behind the scenes together. I've got to have a calendar together. I've got a content calendar that I put together. I literally have, you see all of these quotes that are here. My team and I literally put together a calendar of which quote will be shared weeks, months before. And so we prepare so that we're not scrambling right at the last minute to share thoughts and ideas. And because we have those, I can think of stories that connect with those quotes. Right? So we've got a content calendar that we use, and that's how we're able to be consistent because we prepare. One of the reasons that people are not able to be consistent is because they're not preparing. David, the digital creator, good to see you this morning. So as we reach the end of 2022 and we move into 23, how are you preparing? How are you showing up? Are you going to go into 23 with the same level of frazzlement as you had in 22? Or are you going to take a moment to prepare? And when I say prepare, not just the moment to sit down and breathe and buy gifts and open presents, but what are you doing to show up differently in 2023? What are you doing to show up more powerfully and confidently in 2023? What are you going to do? Do me a favor. If you've got a word, if you've got something that you're going to do differently in 23, go ahead and put that in the chat or in the comments for me. I want to read a few of those off as when they come in. Right? What are you going to do differently? Will you be more powerful? Are you going to read more? Are you going to connect more? Are you going to have more conversations? Are you going to find your mentor this year? Are you going to finally stop procrastinating and really fully launch that business this year? Are you going to launch that nonprofit, that foundation this year? What are you going to do? How are you going to show up? Are you going to finally do what it takes to own that property this year? Are you going to start that magazine this year in 23? What are you going to do? How are you going to show up differently? Is this year going to be the same year that the previous years have been? Or are you going to show up differently? David said he's going to remove the distraction of good ideas that are not his priority in 2023. Ooh, oh my gosh, I love that. I love that because, yeah, we can be distracted by good ideas, right? I'm a creative, and so I've got ideas coming through my head all the time. And we can try to attack all of them. We can try to do all of them. We can try to touch all of them. And because we do that, we're not able to reach maximum capacity, or we're not able to reach maximum value or impact because we're spreading 10%, 10%, 10%, 10% instead of boom, one thing, 100%. So I love that. I love that. We've got some, yeah, I see another person. I'm going to be more consistent in 23. Thank you for that, Jen. Yeah. Consistency is huge. And so my thing, or what I really want you to take away from this morning, from this session, from this Monday morning get up, is prepare to win. Dig your well before you're thirsty. And here's how you dig a well: one scoop at a time, one shovel at a time. I know a lot of times we're living in this space, this world where we want this big tractor, we want this big crane, we want this big electronic, we want this big machine to come to where we are and do all the work and dig it out one big scoop so that we can jump in right away. But that's not how our lives work, right? It takes the small habits. It takes the tiny steps. It takes the intervals to get to the goal that we want. All right. Drew says, 2023, I want to say no or not yet more often so that I can say yes to what's really important and what really matters. I love that. Fantastic. Fantastic. Let's make 2023 be our best year yet. Let's make 2023 be the year that's different. Make 2023 be the year, that pivot year, the year that transforms your life, the year that you decide that you're going to finally transform the lives of others. Because you see, we're not here. We don't do this thing called life for ourselves. We do it because we're meant to transform the life of someone else. For those of you that are out there saying, my gosh, I'm looking for my purpose. I'm looking for my purpose. Oh my gosh, I don't know my purpose. Here's what I want to share with you. We all have the same purpose. All of us, like everyone else that's here on earth, we all have the same purpose. And that purpose is to transform the life or make a difference with at least one other person. How we do that is different. How we do that based on our gifts, our abilities, our skills is different. But the reason that we're here is to touch somebody else, to help transform or lift up somebody else. I'm not here just to live my life for me. I'm here to live my life and make a difference with somebody else, somebody that's coming up behind me that may need some help navigating their path. Gets help because I lived authentically. I lived vulnerably. I lived truthfully, right? I'm willing to share. And that's why I'm so big on sharing our stories and storytelling. Because our lives, our experiences, our stories are the blueprints for somebody else, right? And they take that blueprint and they improve on it and they do something even greater because we lived our lives intent on transforming somebody else. Hey, y'all, I feel like I'm moving off the track of what I meant to say this morning. And we're a little bit over time. But listen, this is the last one for the year. So I just wanted to empower you to make 2023 a different year. I just want to encourage you that whatever has happened in your space, whatever's been your collective experience over the course of this year, even if you feel like it has not been the most successful year that you've had in your life, even if you feel like it has not been where you wanted to end up, I want to encourage you to take the situations, the moments, the experiences, all that's happened this year, and I want you to package it all up. Take a moment over these next couple of weeks and look at it. What are the lessons that you learned? What are the experiences that you've had, and how can you improve on those? Or how can you take those and do something different and do something better in 2023? How can you take the experiences and the learning from this year and make a difference in the life of at least one other person in 2023? Let's do it. Let's do it, and let's do it together. Let me know how I can be helpful. Let me know how I can be of service. Even if you just want to hang out and chat for just a moment, reach out, RK3, that's.me, and connect with me there. All right. So that's what we've got for today. I've got to get going and get prepped and get moving for my week here. But I'm so glad that you were here and that you hung out with me for just a minute. Othniel Stevens Sr., good to see you. Instagram, PG, good to see you. Jason Banks, good to see you all this morning. Do me a favor, make a plan to join me in 2023 for the new Monday Mindset movement. All right, I'll see y'all in just a little while. I will let you know when things are happening. If you want to get notified when we're going live next, do me a favor, text GO LIVE, GOLIVE, to 240-55-STORY. Text GO LIVE to 240-557-8679. All right. So glad that y'all were with me this morning on the Monday Morning Get Up. Make 2023 the bomb diggity. Okay, yes, I won't use that word anymore. All right. I'll see y'all in 2023. Peace.